Wad.
You're a real wad, Johnson. All right, guys. Welcome to episode 43 of the Life Short, Live Free podcast. This is the first podcast in a while that I was sure about the number of because I just went up there and checked.
I love that you're only sure because you double-checked on the computer.
Yeah, what are you going to do? How you guys doing tonight?
Pretty good.
I'm all right.
I'm happy.
Yeah? What are you happy about?
That I'm not 6 feet in the dirt. I don't know.
I mean, you got
just
that
in a good mood.
Okay,
I have noticed you've been unusually giddy today.
He's always fucking like that.
Not always.
The only time he's not like that is when he knocks over the recorder.
Pretty much. If I don't completely ruin something, I'm usually in a pretty good mood. Yeah.
What are you gonna do? So, we just got what is it? It's Sunday evening here. We're recording the podcast. We just got done filming another video. Like what? 30 seconds of footage. It took us about 5 hours or so, give or take.
That makes it sound like it's going to be a really ridiculously awesome 30 seconds, but don't get excited, folks.
No, yeah, I'd say it's between 30 seconds and a minute.
It's going to be 80s high five. Awesome. The weather is freaking gorgeous. It's not freezing in the shop or in the studio here. So
I might take my shirt off even.
It's not bad.
Oh,
it's not bad.
Gee whiz. Miles
shirts or skins.
Miles will be commenting feverishly.
Oh, yeah, never mind. I forgot about Miles. I'm not taking my shirt off.
Before I forget, this episode is sponsored by Ballistic Imagery. Check them out at ballisticimagery.com as well as on social media, Facebook and Instagram. Box, I believe you have a coupon code that goes on the website.
Yeah, LSLF 2020 gets you 10% off at checkout.
2020. All right. I can't say the first LSLF. That takes me a long time to figure out how to say. It's pretty sad.
To figure out how to say it. Not just to say it, but to figure out how to say
it. It's also sponsored by Shyworks, Iowa's Cerakote certified applicator. Check us out at shyworks.com as well as on our social media. I really don't know how to.
I don't know what to do.
I don't know what to do.
Let's drink some whiskey.
Ooh, that does sound good. We got a whiskey of the week this week?
Yeah, I grabbed a little one there.
Whiskey of the week. I kind of remembered the phone this time, so we kind of
didn't remember to charge it, but
kind of sound effects.
Bring it.
What do we got here, Johnson?
It is a black velvet salted or toasted caramel, not salted caramel, but toasted caramel. I've heard a few people tell me that it's very good.
You haven't had it yet?
I have not had it. I cracked the bottle open and smelled it. I guess that's a lie. Last night I just barely took the tiniest taste of it. But I was like, I don't want to get too excited and take a drink of it and not have my real first opinion on the podcast.
Yeah,
but
this is a Canadian whiskey. That's where obviously BV is from. It's funny though. I see it's a toasted caramel flavored whiskey, and they spell whiskey without the E between the K and the.
Because it's not in America,
right? And
because
apparently
we're funny here. We spell things different.
There's not a lot of people that are aware of this because I had the black velvet, the Crown Royal AR was going around again. That's what it was. Yeah. Every now and then it makes the rounds, and I seen somebody shared it and it was all bashing on it. Well, it's totally ruined. These dumbasses misspelled whiskey.
Go read a Crown bottle, you dumb shit.
So I just commented under Shyworks with it, and then I says, "Go look at a bottle. That's how it's spelled." And that's all I said. Oh, my bad. I'm like, dude. I mean, if you're gonna bash on somebody,
at least double check first.
At least he didn't double down on it though, like most people do these days.
Right.
Yeah.
No, you're an idiot.
Well, they're stupid. They spelled it wrong too.
They must have misprinted on that bottle you have.
Yeah.
Right. I had it's funny.
Jesus Christ!
It's funny He's a real drunk.
It's funny how many people I heard that actually said that I misspelled it on there. I bet there was 5-6 people that called me out for misspelling it on there. Freaking idiots.
Well, in their defense, you do misspell a lot of things.
You are kind of dumb.
Not on guns.
At least, like
if I'm going to put it on there permanently, like if I'm going to tattoo myself or tattoo a gun, essentially, I make sure that it's correct.
Yeah, if it's a customer gun, I'm at least going to do my homework and double check things instead of just willy-nilly. That looks right.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. Of course, there's a lot of tattoos that get misspelled too.
Yeah.
No regrets.
No regrets.
Really? Not even one letter?
Oh, God.
So, truth be told, I've had this before. But just taking it all in again. That's what she said. It's
I don't know why that was so funny. God damn it.
I get one right every now and then. Usually you guys just stare at me like,
right.
You're
an idiot. Yeah.
But
it's got a slight rubbing alcohol.
You say that about everything. Everything's got a rubbing alcohol or a nail polish remover to smell that.
It's smooth. It is smooth.
It's violently burned my nose.
No, it's smooth. Just take it in. Just a little bit.
Jesus Christ.
Just a tip.
Just the tip. Get bad. Just take it in. Oh, yeah.
It's like me trying to do the video earlier. Oh God. Oh God. Sam, stop it.
Yeah. We had to tell him to be less orgasmic.
I mean,
That is pretty good.
It's not bad.
It's tasty.
I wouldn't say it's quite as good as that peanut butter that we did.
Right. The Revelstoke.
The Revelstoke peanut butter was real good. But this is up there.
I don't know. I think this might be on par with the peanut butter.
You think? Yeah. I don't know.
I think it's
peanut butter is
real close.
The peanut butter is a little bit more sweet to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm digging. I bought another bottle of peanut butter the other day. That's what I've been drinking lately. I don't know. Hold on.
I don't know. I think it's just as smooth as the Revelstoke peanut butter was, and I think the flavor is, to me, I think Box is right. It's just that little bit less like gut rot sweet. I think there's just.
I'm not gonna disagree with you. I guess I'm not gonna. Well,
that was the only thing I didn't like about the Revelstoke peanut butter. It was just a little too sweet to where I felt like if I drank a glass of that, it'd be like my stomach was going to hurt because there was so much sugar in it. And I think this just takes that edge off just a little bit on the sugar. But
yeah. I don't really get that out of the Revelstoke myself. I enjoy it, but I could see where you guys are saying this is not very sugary, but it's still got that really.
Yeah, it's got a sweet taste to it, but it's not super overpowering.
So next week, we got to have the hardest, badass, delicious whiskey on because the last 4 that we've had have been fucking Susan ass.
And that's what I was thinking.
We really need to make pussy whiskey.
We need to make a run for number 1 again.
That's not true. He brought that garbage ass fucking mango habanero shit.
Yeah. You see Duff tried that the other day?
Yeah, he snapped.
And he thought it was good. I'm like, you sick bastard.
You're a sick individual.
he probably hates it, but he's
going to tell you.
He's doing the Duff thing, and he's like, why don't you like it? I think it's delicious.
I don't know.
And he does it just because people think it's fucking weird.
Duff likes a lot of weird shit, so I wouldn't surprise
He says he likes a lot of weird shit.
Well, he's pretty weird, so I do know he likes
valid point. He is.
But weird. Overall, I'm going to say this is on par with
I think one of our top 3 flavored whiskeys.
Well, yeah. I mean, pecan.
Yeah, we don't have that many.
Pecan and
peanut butter
Revelstoke. They were both right up there. Is 1 and 2, I feel like.
Yeah.
This would probably be 3, and then we got
what about Screwball? We forgot about Screwball.
Screwball. We'll have to compare the Revelstoke peanut butter and the Screwball.
How about let's do a Saturday night episode here one of these days again.
Oh boy, that sounds violent.
In the new studio, and we'll try.
I'll just pass out here because we're so hammered from drinking all these whiskeys.
Right.
You don't want a chance at going down the stairs?
No.
we can get a sled up here and just.
I just need a mattress to ride down the stairs. I'll be good.
Yeah, we probably got one in the other room.
Beanbag chair.
A lot of shit back
I'm good with that.
But I'm gonna rate this 4.3.
What's the rating out of this time?
1 out of 5. I'm gonna say 4.2 out of 5. I think.
Yeah.
I this shit's pretty good. A Revelstoke, I'll say is 4.3. So they're right on par. But that's just my personal.
Yeah, opinion. I would. I'm partial to that Revelstoke pecan. So I'd put this just below that. But this is good.
Right.
This is pretty good. I think it's above the Revelstoke peanut butter, personally.
Box, you're putting it above?
Above the Revelstoke?
Yeah.
The peanut butter?
Yeah, I think so. Not by much.
Yeah, it's definitely not much. Like it's pretty head-to-head deal between those two.
Tell you what, you mix this stuff with Dr. Pepper or something. I did that years ago. It's damn good.
Yeah.
I can't remember. There was a specific thing that it tastes almost exactly like, and it was pretty delicious.
Whatever happened to rum chata? That
Oh,
used to be like huge,
dude,
and
yeah,
I never see
so-
it anywhere.
So
Not that I search out for
right. I remember you and I trying a bowl
Yeah,
of cereal
in
with rum
Emmitsburg.
chata. Oh god.
Oh, that was both of you? I knew he did it.
That
I
was
didn't know you did it.
terrible.
Yeah, we tried
How was that not good?
It
So-
gets rid of all the delicious flavors and leaves nothing but alcohol.
flavor. Yeah. So yeah, we tried rum chata as milk in Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Yeah, you would think.
Yeah, it was
Amazing.
like a match made in heaven. We're gonna get drunk eating cereal for breakfast. Absolutely not. We each took like our first bite out of that bowl. It was like,
I
oh
think we
my god!
threw it in the yard.
Yeah, we did because it was legitimately like the rum chata canceled not only itself but all of the Cinnamon Toast Crunch,
Yeah.
and it was like you were eating a bowl of crunchy ethanol, and it was so bad
I think what you guys probably did wrong is you should have mixed the rum chata like 50-50
with milk. Maybe.
And it probably
I feel like it
been
would
a
have
little bit
curded the
better.
milk.
Yeah.
You're eating a cement mixer and the
Right.
frickin'
Yeah.
it's yummy.
But yesterday when I grabbed this BV, we were at Walmart quick, and I was like, let's run back and grab some booze and stuff. And we were looking at like Bailey's and stuff to put in coffee, and they had a rum chata. It was like a similar type deal, like a toasted caramel or salted caramel type thing. They've even ventured out, they've branched off of their regular rum chata into like different flavored rum chatas. Like
Like
kind of,
what else?
they're
Like what else
they're
you got?
based on the same.
Like Fruit Loops rum chata?
That'd be
Right?
That'd be good.
We'd have to revisit our cereal rum chata mixture. No, I don't remember what all they had. I think there was 2 different ones. Maybe. I don't really remember, but I know there was like a toasted caramel or like a salted caramel type rum chata, and it was like, yeah, I could see that, fitting in with rum chata, but I don't think you could get too crazy with rum chata.
What's rum chata classified as? A liqueur?
Probably.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because rum chata is like horchata, and
The is horchata?
horchata is like cinnamon rice milk, and that's like at Mexican restaurants you get horchata, which is like a cinnamon rice milk, and that's kind of rum chata. It's like rum mixed with this rice milk, the cinnamon rice milk. So that's kind of the.
Speaking of,
It's a cream liqueur manufactured in Wisconsin. Recipe includes rum, dairy cream, cinnamon, vanilla, sugar, and other flavorings.
Yeah.
it used to be a lot bigger at the bars. There was always people getting shots of it. But speaking of,
That is such a pussy ass shot.
Yeah.
It's like,
Right?
That's
fucking
that's
sad.
bad. That's
but it's
like,
delicious, dude.
that's
It's
like getting a shot.
fucking good.
That is like getting a shot of Bailey's.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
but
I
it's
don't want to
good,
put I don't
man.
want to put Bailey's in a mixed drink, or I don't want to put Bailey's in my cup. Let me just get a shot of Bailey's.
Yeah, at least do a
That's
bomb
like,
or something.
Yeah, that's like
That's
can I
for
get a shot of milk with a little bit of booze in it?
Yeah, that's
It's
for like
good though, dude.
tiny little 85-pound girls that just turned 21 or
Yeah, yeah. I don't know, man.
I feel attacked.
That's like tequila rose, man.
Sam got a rum chata shot just the other night.
No.
That's like tequila rose, though. It's the same
Yeah.
shit. I'm gonna get a shot of tequila rose.
That
That's fucking 12 proof cream liqueur.
What's that, Johnson? What's that Mexican place up in Lamar's by Baumgart's?
La Fiesta Chara.
Right.
Whew,
Me
that
and
place is bomb.
the old lady got some food to go there and got margaritas to go because in Iowa now, you can get margaritas to go permanently. They made a law, or mixed drinks, alcohol to go.
Yeah.
So
they give you the whole fucking pitcher. They get go to Walmart, get a plastic pitcher and shit. They send you a whole fucking pitcher of this shit.
No, well, the ones we just ordered 2 drinks. We didn't order.
What an idiot!
No. And they were still put them in these massive ass fucking things. So we took them home. She got a strawberry margarita. I just got a normal one, and we watched 1.5 movies, probably 2.5 hours worth of shit, and I was just finishing it when the freaking movie got over, and I was half popped. There's a lot of shit in that. I don't know how much they cost. I think they were kind of spendy.
They're so if you get a pitcher, it's $20. I think it was 18 or $20 for a pitcher of margarita, but it's they send you home with an actual pitcher, a whole fucking pitcher of margaritas.
We're gonna do that next time.
I was like, holy shit! There's another place in downtown Lamar's that's called Blue Tequila, and they make these these rainbow margaritas, and it's all these different colors layered into a margarita. They're badass. They look super cool, and they're super delicious. And I'm not a margarita guy. I've tried a few different margaritas, and I'm they don't really do it for me. I don't know why. But that rainbow margarita
on the rocks or blended?
Either way, it don't really
I love
matter.
The blended ones.
I think it's mostly
the girly ones.
Oh yeah. Dude, remember we used to have gay drink Sundays? That shit was the bomb, dude.
I think mostly it's because I can tell that they use cheap ass tequila because I like tequila so much. So I'm used to drinking good tequila, and then I'll have a margarita and it's that's fucking Juarez. I ain't drinking that,
We were actually debating getting that blue, what's it called?
Blue tequila.
The place in Lamar's, Blue Tequila.
Blue tequila. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. Next time we do that, we'll just get it and stop at your place and a bunch of
shit. Yeah.
We were debating getting that. So
maybe we should bring gay drink Sunday packs, Sam.
We could.
What about
it's Sunday?
No, I know.
It's Sunday right now.
What about every 3rd or 4th episode?
Here you boys go.
Every 3rd episode is Gay Drink Sunday.
Yeah.
Dude, that would be
I don't think that's politically correct anymore.
Who cares?
Yeah, we don't.
Give a
I don't hate that idea,
That's
though.
a mango. Does anybody want a lime? Ooh, black cherry. That's delicious.
This is Johnson's new alter ego.
Yeah.
Gay Drink Johnson.
No, this is the true Johnson.
Yeah, this is the guy. Every time he shows up, he no longer brings PBR or hams or Bud or anything. It's always seltzer.
Yeah, this is the guy that wore overalls or coveralls to a podcast a few episodes ago.
Yeah.
One of the last episodes in the last video.
Dude, I swear to God, I will wear overalls and drink Bud Light seltzers in the same episode. I don't care.
You know what, though?
So here's my thing. I legitimately started drinking seltzers because I don't like being fat. And I want to...
Okay.
I don't want to be this fat. And so beer, I drink a lot of beer. Honest to God, I will say that on an average night, I'll probably have 3 beers, right?
Sure.
3 to 4 beers on an average night. Well, that's a lot of carbohydrates. And turns out, I found out that carbohydrates are what give you a beer belly.
Mm-hmm.
So if I can put a few of these babies down, and guess how many carbohydrates are in these? 0.
Yeah, Johnson, but if you drink 14 of them...
I don't, though.
How many carbs were in that magazine full of Skittles that you
I don't know, but man, I haven't had Skittles in probably 6 or 7 years. And I did want to find out. So, truth be told, I wanted to find out how many bags of Skittles would fit in an AR mag. Turns out it's about 2.5. But boy, I about ripped down all 2.5 bags of Skittles out of that magazine because they were delicious.
Johnson, here's what we got to do next time: is we got to use a stick and shove the follower
hold the follower down, fill it up, and then
see
let
how
go.
many.
So there was really no real reason behind you wanting to fill a magazine with Skittles other than
me wanting
curiosity.
to find out.
No, it literally just popped into my brain when we were sitting there in the shop. How many Skittles fit in a mag? And you guys, the funny thing is, you guys didn't even question it. Why are you thinking of that? You're like, I guess I thought, why don't you go get some Skittles?
The funniest thing was, I was like, he was like, all right, I'm going to go get beer. I was like, get fucking Skittles too. We got to figure this out.
Maybe you guys are just getting used to my
maybe
fucking.
I thought maybe you might have an idea for a video or something.
No.
It reminds me of Seinfeld. It's like, don't you feel privileged to have access to my dementia?
Right. Right. Which character said that?
Costanza.
George. Yeah, that guy's. I'd say he's pretty certifiable.
Yeah.
Speaking of privilege, I think there's a lot of crackheads in the United States right now. They're going to be pretty jealous of the privilege going on in.
Look at the sediment.
The Oregon crackheads right now. So obviously, unless you're living under a rock, you know that there was the election last week. Blah blah blah. And Oregon put a vote to the people whether they were gonna legalize hard drugs or not, and it passed by a wide margin. So they legalized heroin, cocaine, methamphetamines. As far as it's no longer
ketamine.
It's no longer
all kinds of weird shit.
It's no longer a felony possession. It's just like it's like a traffic ticket.
Yeah.
You still can't.
Simple misdemeanor.
Right. So $100 ticket. Blah blah blah. Whatever.
That they're never gonna pay because they're homeless and don't have $100.
Right. Generally.
Hey, not all crackheads are homeless. Don't generalize.
Didn't we have a conversation about that?
The ones who live in crack houses. Right. Yeah, that's it.
What episode was that in? I remember we had a whole conversation about that.
I don't remember that.
But so it's still illegal to manufacture and sell them. It's just not as illegal to possess them.
So fucking dumb.
But, well, I don't know, Johnson. I'm kind of torn on the subject. I mean, I obviously my whole upbringing.
Legalize it so they can just do as much as they want and half of them tip over and then problem solved.
My whole upbringing, and everything as generally conservatives are anti-drug.
Drugs are bad.
Drugs are bad, okay? And we learn all about them in school, and they tell you how to do drugs and how.
They told you how to do drugs?
Oh, yeah.
They didn't tell me how to do drugs.
Me either.
Really?
No.
Son of a bitch.
Did you guys not take DARE? They basically tell you like what drugs do
in the
what.
4th grade.
Well, they tell you all sorts of shit.
Telling you how to shoot up.
Where to buy them, all this sort of shit. But then they just tell you to don't do them. As a rule, conservatives are anti-drug.
Mm-hmm.
But the older I get, the more freedom oriented, towards just, I don't agree with that. I don't think you should do drugs. I think they're a waste of time and you're an idiot for doing meth.
Yep.
But that's your fucking business, I guess, maybe, kind of. So, and there's been
I can see both ways on that.
There's been a lot of countries that have, well, not a lot, but several that have just says, all right, fuck it, do the drugs you want. And their drug use has gone down.
Yeah, the problem with legalizing all that stuff is public safety, obviously, because if you have people, if it's legal to do these drugs, just look at the number of drunk driving tickets you have, in the state of Iowa, say, right? And it's,
sure.
We all know that meth is a problem in Iowa. How many DUIs for meth do you get? Not very many. You legalize meth, how many DUIs are you going to get? I think
right.
that the major concern for me personally is not I'm trying to save these people. I'm not saying you should outlaw meth and heroin and all this shit for the sake of the people who are taking the drugs. I don't give a fuck. They can do whatever they want. They can overdose and die in a ditch. It doesn't matter one bit to me.
Okay.
That's your personal choice. You can do the exact same thing with alcohol. You can drink way too much booze, go tip over in a ditch. That's your prerogative, right? And that's already legal. But it's the public safety thing as far as those people being under the influence and having an effect on society, having, getting into a fight with somebody outside of a bar or driving a vehicle and running over people or whatever.
But that's essentially how we in essence regulate alcohol, is if you get too drunk and you do something fucking stupid, then you get in trouble for that. Shouldn't it be the same? It's going to be the same way with the hard drugs. You do something stupid on drugs, you're thrown in the slammer, and I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. This is a game Box has been wanting to play. Devil's advocate. How is it that we can say that gun laws don't fucking work, and that if you make guns illegal, we're just going to get them anyways.
Mm-hmm.
And then we turn around as conservatives and we turn around and say that we should have all these drug laws. Like, how is that?
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that
like,
hypocritical?
It is hypocritical. I understand that. Like, I would absolutely agree with the fact that, hey, people are supposed to have this freedom of choice and free to do what they can or what they want to do, you know, just like owning firearms or drinking alcohol or smoking marijuana or doing what, you know,
right,
shooting heroin, anything they want to do. They have the right to choose that. And the laws don't mean that you can't do that. Right? The law is not stopping you from doing that, just like gun laws. I can have an illegal SBR. I can have an illegal machine gun. It's just illegal. It's just what side of the law you choose to be on.
Yeah, but I'm not sure where you're.
Well, I'm saying you're playing devil's advocate, and we think that all these gun laws are wrong, right?
Right.
And I would agree with that. And you can think that the drug laws are wrong too. But if you think that they're so wrong, that's just like, I don't want to foreshadow into the rest of the episode, but that super plays into what we want to talk about later.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because that's a very relevant thing in that time period, right? So you want to figure out, which side of the law do you want to be on? Do you feel as if that's so much intrusion into your freedoms that you are going to disobey the law? Or do you, the problem with the drug thing to me is that their addiction is driving them, not their actual conscious mind making that choice.
Yeah.
You know, I can, as a conscious human being, say, hey, having a machine gun is illegal for me. I don't have the right licensing. I shouldn't do that. As a crack addict, are you going to go, you know what? I haven't had crack in 3 days and I'm really fiending, but it's illegal. I shouldn't do that.
Yeah, I see your point. There is a slight difference.
It's comparing apples to oranges is what I'm saying, but
yes
at the same time, yeah.
Box always has an interesting take on this sort of thing, as far as usually it's different than mine.
Yeah, differs from the two of us.
No, Sam's getting closer and closer to my views as he gets older. He's getting wiser.
What the f***?
Wiser and smarter.
You evolved quicker than I did?
Yes. No, I tend to lean more towards the libertarian side of things, and I've thought that the war against drugs has been stupid for a long, long time.
Oh yeah, honestly, like the war against drugs and the militarization against, you know, all these drug cartels and spending all this money trying to figure all that shit out. That's just been a waste of money the whole time. Because you're not going to stop people from, like, it does tie into like gun culture very well, because you're not going to stop people from getting drugs illegally, just like you're not going to stop people, like if you want to remove all guns, you're not going to stop people from getting guns illegally.
The difference with drugs as opposed to guns is, I mean, if you're caught with an ounce of cocaine, is that a lot? I don't fucking know.
It sounds like a lot. I don't know.
No, that's a very minuscule amount.
How much is an ounce, like, as opposed to like an ounce shot glass? That seems like a fuckload of
well,
cocaine.
Fluid ounce and a solid ounce are completely different. But
either way, if you're caught with a small amount, if you're caught with we need to have an episode where we just do all these drugs so we know what the fuck we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Let's go to
let's
go to Oregon, man.
I've done an ounce of cocaine and I almost died, so that is a lot. We could at least have the experience to say such things.
So, but the fact is, if you're caught with a small amount of drugs, usually, I mean, you go to jail for the night. You post bail, blah blah blah. And it's an inconvenience, yes, and it's on your record for your
$500 bail,
right? But if you are caught with a short-barreled suppressed machine gun, you're going to jail for 10 fucking years.
Yeah,
there's a big difference between.
And that can vary too. Because you can get caught with an SBR at a little gun range, right? And you might get pulled in by the local authorities, and they're like, well, you know,
gonna fuck you.
It's I mean, it's probable, but you could get cut off just as easy, or like let off just as easy as with drug charges.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I guess
there's a lot of discretion to be had with officers and how they want to pursue.
I guess you
cases.
just don't hear about that shit very much. I mean, you hear about fuckheads in Chicago that gun somebody down and they get out on 3, 4, 5 times on bail and their charges dropped and shit. But you never hear about some guy with an SBR.
That's because most law-abiding citizens who are gun owners don't have illegal SBR suppressed machine guns.
Yeah, and the other thing is, like Johnson, and you made this point earlier, like, and this is a point that I remember like 12 years ago when I had just moved down to Kansas City, and
lived in the hood.
Well, I wasn't as Box pointed out, my views have evolved a lot since then. And I remember when the Patriot Act had passed. Basically it's the opposite of the Patriot Act. It allows the government to fucking spy on us. And I remember having a conversation with my cousins that says, why do I care?
But we can look at public records now.
Yeah, okay. But I remember having a conversation saying, why do I care if the government listens to me? Well, yeah, I fucking care now.
Yeah.
So my views have evolved a lot since then, but I remember saying something back then about drugs that I still think the same way about. I mean, the difference in guns and heroin is if you're in a bar and say you're hopped up on meth or heroin, you might just snap, freak out, and kill somebody with a pool cue. That's whereas if you want to have a suppressed full auto SBR in your home, that's not going to cause you to just go off the rails and affect somebody else, and do something to screw them up. So
truthfully, neither are drugs. That's not for sure going to cause you to go off the rails and freak out.
I'm not saying it's for sure, but there's a damn good chance if you're high on meth, you're going to do something to somebody else. But that's just, I don't know. I understand like the libertarian thought of, hey, it's my free will, it's my free choice to do whatever the hell I want. I totally get that, and I'm all about that. And the only flip side of that for me is being able to see, like, understand the public safety portion of it, and that I can see the difference between hard drugs and guns, because I can see that people who are gun owners can make a conscious decision with a clear state of mind, whereas people on drugs don't have a clear state of mind to make that conscious decision. And also, to me that's the only difference I see. What about if we divided drugs into like medicinal? Like, obviously, I don't think you can keep marijuana in the same group. No, that's what I was just going to say. I think marijuana. I think marijuana, and I know people close to me that use marijuana as a medicinal substance, and that's the only fucking thing that's helped them after they search for years and years for things.
Yeah, cancer patients and
anxiety, all sorts of
tons
shit.
of stuff.
So how can you say that? You can't say that marijuana and like what sort of medicinal uses are there for heroin?
I don't know.
Or cocaine.
Cocaine used to be used a lot in medicine. Lot.
Because it makes you feel great. Sure.
Yeah.
But like nowadays scientific community, nobody's saying that fucking or cocaine is medicinal. So what about if we at what point do you say
look at all the memes like, hey, sir, do you know why I pulled you over? Officer, it's medicinal. Well, first off, that's a belt-fed machine gun. Like, but it helps ease my anxiety.
You're goddamn right.
You just got to put one of those vests on it, like that you put on your dogs.
It's like a
service machine gun.
Service machine, yeah. It's an anxiety service machine gun. Man. That's awesome.
Oh, man. So I don't know. This is
try getting that on an airplane.
This is actually a conversation that I've been wanting to have a long time with you guys about like where we actually stand on like freedom as opposed to like hard drugs and everything. Mm-hmm. So and truthfully told, the last 4 or 5 years, I've evolved a lot on the way that I view things.
Yeah, I can definitely understand your viewpoint of, hey, you're an American, you're a free citizen, you can do what you want.
If you want to rot your teeth out with methamphetamines, I suppose ahead. Whatever, have at it. But if you fuck with somebody else while you're high on that shit, you got some shit coming to you.
That's the only hard part is, as like if it was 1853 and as sparsely populated as America was, and people were getting high on meth and not affecting anybody and just fucking up their own lives, that'd be one thing, but when people get high on meth and drive down a fucking interstate at 93 miles an hour, shit starts to get a little sketchy.
How many meth heads out there though are not doing that shit just because it's illegal?
Right. I totally understand that. I get that. Yeah,
when we're hard drugs,
the only thing is they put those policies in place to try and protect public safety. And I mean, let's be realistic. We all know that you can't regulate public safety because people who are going to do shit wrong that endanger public safety are going to do it whether it's legal or not.
Does anybody know when hard drugs were actually made illegal in the U.S.? Do you guys know by any chance? Like, was there an actual law that says were they legal up to a certain time, and then all of a sudden they passed a law that says
70s or 80s?
I would imagine because cocaine was legal. I mean, they used it in medicine for
the CIA used like acid, and I'm pretty sure heroin for a lot of shit.
Yeah, but I don't think they care if it's legal or not either. It's the CIA.
They do what the fuck they want.
But I'm saying back in the 60s or 70s or whenever heroin and acid came about.
Yeah, and I don't know, because like I said, cocaine was used so heavily in medicine and stuff that
cocaine's a hell of a drug.
I don't know when that kind of stuff flipped up, like, because I know Reagan was big on the war on drugs, right?
It was his wife that championed a lot of that shit.
Yeah, but that's kind of when the real push for getting rid of that stuff and really cracking down on that stuff happened. But I guess I don't know when the kind of legislation against all those hard drugs really started.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. I think that's
so you're very let everybody do what they want. Hard drugs shouldn't be illegal.
I don't know, man. And the thing that stops me from it is if you look at like Oregon okayed marijuana years ago. Colorado.
Boy, what a shithole that place became.
And that's exactly my problem. Like that's exactly my problem.
States.
When those states legalize that shit, fuckheads just swap, just flock to it, and it turns it into a liberal paradise. I mean, Colorado, case in point, they just passed a freaking 15-round mag capacity. It was, a couple of years ago, but it was. They passed the weed legalization a couple years before that, and then all of a sudden they're diving into, which has historically been a pretty free state. And now that's
well, you got to look at the people who influxed into moved into that state.
Yeah,
there's a lot of people who hey, I don't like all the taxes that are being pushed on me in California, but weed's legal in Colorado.
So let's go up here and vote for the same
let me
shit.
Move to Colorado.
I know, and that's exactly that is the reason why I am not in support of like say Iowa legalizing this shit, because I don't want freaking Iowa to go the way that Oregon or Colorado.
Yeah, I think I don't see a problem if they were to federally change the law as far as marijuana goes.
Where are they going to move, right?
Yeah, I don't need to move. It's legal here, right? And then their life's unaffected other than they can legally use marijuana, right?
Yeah.
But when it's state by state, you get such an influx of
and I was out in the Denver Breckenridge area. It's been 3, 4, 5 years ago now. Right. It was a year or two after they legalized this shit. And it was so fucking bad out there. I told myself I wasn't going back. Like, it was fucking... We went to the top of the mountain. Literally the top of the mountain. As high as you could go.
Could smell.
Like, this wasn't even a freaking chairlift.
Yeah.
This was a freaking, like, you know, you had to hop on this... I fell like 6 times trying to go up this goddamn thing. It wasn't a normal chairlift. So we were all the way at the top of the mountain.
Was it just like a cable lift with
Yeah.
ties on it that you had to hold on to,
you just hold on to it and
Yeah.
right. But we go all the way to the top of the mountain and we're going down and there's somebody in the fucking trees smoking weed. Like, and that was when you were in the main street, like walking through all these little cobblestone. Breckenridge is a beautiful town. It's a cool ass town.
Yep.
And I was out there many times before this was legalized. But that's all you fucking smell. And there's hipsters and douche nozzles just fucking everywhere. And I did not have, it just wasn't for me. I says, I'm not fucking going back because that's not my scene. I don't enjoy that. They fucking ruined it, you know? And that's what I'm worried about. Like in these little states like Iowa, if you know, God forbid we go that way.
Yep.
So I don't know. Box, you look like you got something to say.
Yeah, I'm looking up the history of drugs, and I've listened to a lot of or several podcasts over the years about the history of drugs, just because I find it interesting. But this here says in 1898.
See, Box loves drugs. Everybody.
Yeah, you heard it here first. Box is a druggie. In 1898, Bayer started an aggressive marketing campaign to sell heroin. And they were heavily promoting it as non-addicting and therefore an excellent treatment for morphine addiction. And in 1906, the American Medical Association approved heroin for general use and recommended that it be used in place of morphine.
No shit.
Yeah, and this
dude, that ain't. I'm gonna have to say, in place of morphine, it probably ain't that bad. Morphine is fucked. Like, I know a lot of people.
You know what this heroin is?
No, but I know a lot of people who have, like, people who are, like, dying with cancer and shit who go on morphine, and it just turns your fucking body off, and all your body can do is beat the heart and breathe barely, and that doesn't take long for that shit to stop either. Morphine is some nasty shit.
This is actually just the product of boiling morphine.
Heroin is?
Good.
No shit. So it's concentrated morphine is essentially what it is.
Formulation of diacetyl morphine, or the product of boiling morphine for several hours.
Huh.
Dude, like, morphine is some gnarly shit. Morphine is bad shit.
That, thankfully, when my dad had his accident and he was in the hospital, we found out that he was allergic to morphine. And so he couldn't take that shit.
That's a good, honestly.
And me as well. I couldn't, like, I was allergic to morphine, so they gave me this other shit when I had a hernia surgery, nothing serious. But I couldn't do that.
They tried giving you morphine for your hernia?
No, during surgery, like after surgery.
Huh.
I can't believe they would try and give you morphine for.
I don't know. I don't know what they gave me, I guess.
Well, maybe it wasn't that. They didn't give me morphine, like, maybe it was in the hospital or some shit, but it was hydrocodone. I know they prescribed that to me. It made me sick as shit. I couldn't take that. So, like, I was vomiting profusely and stuff.
Hey, me too.
So yeah, it turns out
weird. It's like you guys are related.
Turns out Shire boys cannot do freaking.
We both
drugs.
got hernias and we both throw up when we get treated with the medicine for hernias.
Super.
For the painkillers.
Awesome. Huh.
Johnson, can you do me a huge favor?
What's that?
Can you grab me another one of those Budweisers over there? You think? If you can reach?
While
I transition to the...
Before you transition, Sam, to answer your question, this here says that this free reign resulted in a population of 200,000 heroin addicts in New York City. So in 1914 was when the Harrison Narcotics Act was passed to stop the abuse of cocaine, heroin, and cannabis.
Yeah,
Interesting.
So 1914.
Well, and like... So, I know she ain't listening to this, so I don't give a shit. Honestly, I hope she is listening to this. So, the morphine that we gave my dad was in, like, tablets, right? There was, like, liquid morphine in tablets.
Liquid as in UV
it was, like,
style?
in a dropper.
Right.
Right, so you'd get, like, we would take like an eyedropper out of this little medicine bottle, and you'd take it to like 2.5 milliliters or whatever it was, and you'd have to drip it in like the side of his mouth.
I thought this was UV or
No.
IV type shit.
No, this was like oral.
Okay.
And you'd put drops in his mouth and kind of rub on his cheek and stuff and get it to
Just
soak
use
in. And
absorb,
yeah, and at this point, my dad was like, wasn't
Coherent.
responsive.
Right.
You know, he was just kind of, it was just keeping him breathing and stuff like that. And as soon as my dad passed away, and he was on hospice, right? And as soon as the nurse was like, all right, we need to get rid of his medication. Well, I don't know exactly what all their policies are and stuff as far as they're supposed to like flush him down the toilet or whatever, you know. Well, my dad's girlfriend at the time was just like, "Oh, I'll take care of it." And she just fucking swiped everything, dude. Like she swiped everything. And I was like praying for like 2 weeks that she would just fucking tip over because she took all these fucking morphine tablets at one time or something. Like,
did you know that they can test the fish in the whatever river runs through London, and they can tell whether it's a fucking weekend or a weekday by how much hard drugs that the fish have in their system?
What?
Yeah. Because they're the people. I mean, they take all these hard drugs. They vomit, they piss, they shit down the
they all go
sewers.
into the river. Yeah,
that all goes in the river, and these fish absorb
or ocean.
them.
You know,
and
if
they can tell whether it's a weekday or a weekend by how high the levels of hard drugs are in these fish.
Sounds like a nice place.
Right?
It does, dude. A funny thing is, I know that the hospice nurse got some of the fucking drugs flushed down the toilet. Because when I moved in, I was mowing the yard, and like where the septic tank like drains off, like where the leach field is, I could see a bunch of pills and shit like drained out from the drain. I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" It's like, I don't know how this bitch didn't.
So did you pick him up?
I was like, I don't know how this bitch didn't tackle the hospice nurse trying to. Right, that looks like a hydrocodone. Yeah, I'll take that.
Surely they have a more official way of disposing of drugs than flushing them down the toilet.
Yeah, so my sister and I looked at like what the hospice procedure is, because we were both pissed that this stupid ass bitch just was like, "Well, I'll take care of it," and she took all of them, right?
Because you wanted some, right?
No, I was just hoping to inject it all into this bitch at one fucking time.
Right.
But we looked because we're like, well, because we were like concerned, like, doesn't the nurse have to take care of all this? Like, because you wouldn't think that you would want people to take these drugs.
Generally,
it's like fucking morphine. Like, you don't
those are highly regulated. You're not
you don't want just people to take
fucking
fucking morphine, right?
You're not supposed to.
So we kind of looked into it, and it was just like, well, it's at the nurse's discretion to dispose of the drugs. And it was like, what the fuck?
Well, I can either dispose of them or give you them so you can deal with your grief.
Here, you guys are all grieving. Have some morphine.
You guys remember how we were worried that we weren't going to have enough subjects to talk about tonight?
I was never worried.
I'm gonna disagree. You were fairly concerned.
I think this subject bodes fairly well with Johnson alluded to it earlier, the Prohibition, which we talked. I don't remember how we even touched on it last episode or 2 episodes ago. But the fact that I was frankly surprised. I mean, not surprised, but. Like how did we get to the point in the U.S. where the majority of the population was okay with prohibition? That was 18th Amendment, correct, Johnson? Was
18th Amendment, yes.
Was prohibition, which basically said that the manufacture and sale of booze, alcohol, was illegal. I mean, you could still consume it, but you could not make
at first, yeah.
You could not make it and sell it, which resulted in
there was a lot of shit. There was a lot of stuff that kind of happened in between there, because
right.
There was
started with the kind of the temperance movement back in the 1850s, and
and then by like there was like I can't remember what the name of the bill was, something of 1917, where it just outlawed alcohol above 2.75%.
Interesting that you mentioned that. There was when I was in Kansas City, we'd go out to the lake all the time on the boat, and on the boat in the lake, you couldn't have anything over 3.2% alcohol. So you could buy, which is beer. This is Budweiser's 5.0. You have to go to the grocery store and buy Budweiser that was 3.2. There was a special beer that you had to buy.
So that's the same way in Minnesota. I guess I don't know about the legality of it on the water, but as far as purchasing it, if you went to Walmart or the grocery store, you would get 3.2 beer. Mm-hmm. But if you went to the liquor store,
that was the same way in Kansas City. Yep.
It was higher alcohol content.
Yep,
beer.
So basically, how Prohibition started back in 1851.
Did you bring your readers?
Dude, I haven't been reading a lot today. But if I was like,
do you need to warm up? Then?
A normal day, like if my eyes were focusing by this time during the night, I'd have to use readers. But Maine was the first state in 1851. Maine passed.
Maine has stuck that long,
right?
Wow.
Well, just trust me. There's other states that have stuck way longer. Apparently, that I did not have any idea.
Let me guess. Most of them were in New England.
No, actually, no. This is
There's a lot of Midwest.
Southern, actually, yes.
Yeah, Southern and Midwest.
But
because of all the Bible thumpers.
Yeah.
That was...
So Maine was the first one that passed Prohibition, and essentially how this came to be, there was this temperance movement and a bunch of church ladies, Bible thumpers, and rightfully so. A lot of them were getting their ass kicked by their piece of shit alcoholic husbands. So that's how that came to be. So Maine was the first one, and then there was other states that followed suit. And a lot of those states, within a couple of years of them banning it, they realized, wow, this is not fucking working. Violence is getting worse. So they reversed it.
Yeah. So just to be clear, the very beginnings of the Prohibition they claimed it a few different ways. They claimed it for public health because alcoholism was bad for your health. Right, obviously. And they claimed it for I don't know, domestic health, domestic relationship health.
Violence,
because it was domestic violence, because that was the number one problem that they were having, was all these guys would go out to the bars at night and get hammered and go home and beat the shit out of their wives. And that was the number one problem and the number one driving force of Prohibition. Yep. Prohibition in the first place.
So, I mean, and Johnson, we were talking about this earlier, the Anti-Saloon League and that was a big thing, and the Women's Christian Temperance Union, they gained widespread support. And so they basically became what would you compare them to now? Mothers Against...
The Democratic Party.
Well, what is it? MAD...
Mothers Against Guns.
Mothers Against Everything, essentially. Nowadays, that sort of type of movement.
I wouldn't consider the ASL that same way.
Why not?
Because they were way, way deeper into it than Mothers Against Everything.
Well, how so?
The Anti-Saloon Leagues, or the ASL, was... they were basically a political big shot in the time. They were using tactics that are being used now. That they were using the media to portray a certain message,
convince everybody,
to convince everyone. So they basically used the media. They used politicians, and they were basically saying, hey, if you agree with us and you side with us, you win the election. If you don't, you're not even going to get to run.
Right.
And they were using the media to basically convince people that exactly like what we're currently seeing, they're using the media to convince everyone of this is how everyone feels, right? So even though there was only maybe 30% of United States citizens who felt very strongly that prohibition needed to happen, right? There anti-alcohol people were maybe a third of the population. Well, the ASL used the media to convince a majority of the population that a majority of the population believed in prohibition, right? So there was they used pretty shady tactics, and there was a lot of shady people who were in charge of the ASL who took that to an extreme and bought lobbyists and bought politicians and everything to get their way.
And the other thing that once World War I came around, that was really the nail in the coffin that kind of nailed prohibition down, because they could basically say that all the barley and the wheat that was being used to make booze should be made into bread for our troops and shit.
Yeah.
And so that's basically what happened.
Well, and that's
1917. It was
1917.
Passed.
1920
was when it
ratified.
took effect in January of 1920.
Mm-hmm.
And then booze was officially, you couldn't make booze, but there was a lot of
speakeasies.
Yes, but there was a lot of ways to get around it.
Loopholes.
It was if you're religious, you could still
have wine. Yeah.
You could still, I mean, like I said earlier, you could still consume it, but you couldn't buy it. You know. Mm-hmm. So then there was a lot of breweries selling, wineries selling basically concentrated wine. They said. So on it, they said, do not mix this with water and let it sit for so many days because this turns into wine.
Mm-hmm.
You know, shit like that. And people were buying the shit out of it, you know. And there was all sorts of shit that ways they get around it.
Yeah, and back to my point of, I guess people, you know, going about it the wrong way and passing it was this Wayne Wheeler guy. And I would say I think everybody needs to look up. I think it's a very interesting read.
Is he different from Walker Wheeler Jr.?
Yes.
I mean, is he related to him? Or?
I don't believe so. Basically, the way the Anti-Saloon League, the ASL, got so big was this Wayne Wheeler guy. He kind of really pushed this to become such a big thing. He was a farmhand or a farm owner or something. He worked on a farm, and one of the guys who he worked with was hammered drunk and stabbed him with a pitchfork. Basically, was like scooping hay. No,
accidentally?
He was hammered drunk. Accidentally was scooping hay and stabbed the shit out of him with his hay fork. Right.
Okay.
And he grew like this hatred for alcohol because of this problem that he had as a young guy getting stabbed by this drunk bastard, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he grew this hatred for alcohol and started low off in the anti-saloon leagues, and his hatred for alcohol obviously brought him up higher in the organization, and he made the anti-saloon league basically what it's known for, because he was kind of like, he was the guy who hated alcohol the most, so he became the most well-known.
So where was
member of that.
Was it Dewey Howard? Where was he in this whole deal? Because he accidentally chopped his brother in half. Was alcohol involved in that?
Dewey Cox.
Dewey Cox. There it was. Dewey Howard. Sorry, I missed. Yeah,
Dewey Cox. Yeah.
Is it addictive? No. Does it give you a hangover? No. You don't want none of this shit, Dewey. I think I do.
I think I do.
You don't get hangovers. Trust me, Dewey.
Another thing I found interesting was drugstores could sell booze. So I mean, that was still, as long as you had a doctor's note.
Yeah, it was still
as long as you had a doctor's note, you could still get it. If you had a fucking toothache or whatever. And another interesting fact was how many people died from tainted alcohol. They estimated around 10,000 people died from drinking, like, shit that people fucked up, and then also the government was poisoning it. Some of it.
So another big thing that was happening during the Prohibition was, Box, you need one of these?
God, no.
Another big thing that was happening during the Prohibition was, I guess another talking point against Prohibition during that time period was clean water. They didn't have enough clean water, so people were saying that alcohol is a way of consuming water that it's actually purified and clean, because there was like it wasn't reliable that you could go to any city or any town and get water that was clean and that wouldn't make you sick.
Why not just boil it? If you know that it's fucked up,
I understand that, but you can't go to a city well. You can't go to the city of Kingsley, take out of the city well, and it be safe, right?
Right.
But with alcohol, you could purchase it and it was just safe. You didn't have to do anything.
Because the booze killed the shit in it.
Right. Well, because it's been boiled off, right? That's how you make alcohol, is you boil it off, and but yeah, there was a lot of crazy tactics back and forth of pro and con for alcohol, and there was all the talk of public health and public safety, and
the bullshit we're hearing now.
But they realized real quick they were wrong by outlawing
violence.
Didn't they?
Violence skyrocketed. Everything.
How many years did it take? 13? 1933?
Yeah. Yep. The Great Depression actually helped quite a bit.
And I think the Great Depression was aided by...
Yeah. FDR, he called for a repeal during the 32 presidential campaign and won in the landslide, which, you know what? If some motherfucker would campaign on getting rid of this
repealing
goddamn
the NFA?
And this time change...
Yeah.
Yeah, you got my vote, dude.
Yeah. So the big thing with FDR on repealing it was the Great Depression, obviously, right, played a huge role in this.
People are poor as fuck. They want to drink their booze. God damn it.
Well,
life sucks. Give me my booze.
Well, here's the deal: is the American farmer was a big vote in the election, right? And what did the American farmer produce? A lot of ingredients for alcohol.
Grain.
Okay.
Wheat.
So
corn,
when
potatoes.
So when the Prohibition went through, and all these alcohol producers went out of business, right? All the legal alcohol producers went out of business. What did grain prices do?
I assume they tanked. Yeah.
Yeah. So the American farmer became very poor, and the tax on the thought of taxing or removing alcohol started in 1790 something. All right. And they started thinking they needed to tax alcohol. So it's, everybody wants to talk about this country was started on a 3% tax on tea, right? And we didn't want that 3% tax on tea.
Right.
Well, we started this country in 1776, but in 1791, our government already wanted to tax alcohol because that was a luxury item at the time. It was prevalent. A lot of people wanted alcohol, and a lot of people had alcohol, but it was still considered a luxury item. So they thought that they could just go ahead and put a tax on that because it was a luxury item. So people, it's not very far off to see where they could start playing with alcohol as a tax, and they were out of money because of the Revolutionary War. So taking this luxury item like alcohol and taxing it, that seemed like a good idea. But boy, were they met with fury on that deal.
Another thing I found interesting was Yuengling and Anheuser-Busch.
Yuengling.
They both, and I didn't know that Yuengling was that fucking old.
Yuengling is the oldest distillery in the United States.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Anheuser-Busch, they both refitted their refineries to make ice cream, while Coors, they took up the production of pottery and ceramic.
Mm-hmm.
And others produced legal, or basically not NA beer. It contained less than 0.5% of alcohol. A lot of the others kept their lights open by peddling malt syrup. Just shit, basically.
Yeah.
And winemakers got by selling a grape concentrate called wine bricks.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, and we touched on it, the Great Depression, that was really the nail in the coffin of the getting rid of Prohibition.
Yeah.
There was so much benefit. The U.S. was in a hard state as far as tax money and shit, and they saw the tax dollars that could be made off alcohol.
And they saw the money that the mobsters were making slinging alcohol.
And that was another thing that we hadn't really touched on very much tonight, but that was a huge thing in the 20s, was mobsters and the organized.
That's where
crime.
the problem is that's where the NFA started. Was because of these mobsters. So by banning alcohol, they created this monster that is the NFA,
right? And
banning suppressors and full autos. And
speaking of which, you guys full auto and suppressors yet? Or
no.
You just said fuck it and screw the NFA?
That stuff is illegal. I would never do that.
Would never
do such a thing. No.
That's the tough thing about having the little platform that we do here. You gotta kind of watch what we say. Like, it can be misconstrued pretty easily.
A little bit.
Yeah. But once again, none of us have anything that would be illegal ever.
See, now that could be misconstrued.
Why could that? That is a clear statement.
He's clearly stating
that is a clear statement.
He follows the law.
That all of us abide by every legal standard there ever is.
I think the last week.
You hear me?
I mean, everybody in the U.S. knows what's going on. We don't need to touch on this shit. You guys are inundated by this every single day. But has the last week changed the way you guys view your preparedness? Like, did you all of a sudden wake up and there's like, fuck, I'm not, God damn it, I got to do this and I got to do this?
No, because this shit has been drawn out for so long that it's been a slow ease into, I think I need to change my plan a little bit.
Well, Johnson, I knew your fucking answer. I was more asking, towards the box. If his,
then fucking say
why are you singling me out?
Yeah,
no, you know me. My shit doesn't really change.
Are you worried at all?
No,
I'm not.
I'm gonna do what I need to do. I don't really care what's going on around.
me. I'm not that worried either. Just because I truly don't believe that one person has that much power that it will change my life that much.
You wouldn't think so, would you?
But
unfortunately, the way that the world,
I am making provisions for this certain scenario. I will say that.
Mm-hmm.
I am making provisions for this certain scenario. In most presidential elections, I say,
well,
one guy doesn't make that much of a difference, and he can't really have that much of an effect. But in this certain scenario, I'm afraid that they don't really give a shit about what or who or where. So I have made provisions.
And like I said, we don't want to dive into this really too deep, but the one thing I'll say about it is we thought, or excuse me, the other side thought in 2016 that the world was ending.
Mm-hmm.
And I was more worried then than I am now, which right now I'm not really worried at all. But
yeah,
well,
I was actually pretty concerned back then, and I made a bit of an effort to change some things, but not really this time around.
Well, I'll just finish my thought here, and then I'll dive into that. But I will just say that the left thought that it was the end of the world in 2016. And the sky was falling. They were going to lose all their rights. We're going to fall into global world war, and none of those things happened. And now it's flip-flopped, it seems, and our side is saying all those things. You know, the world is ending. We're going to lose all our rights. I've been around a little bit long enough now that I realize that maybe all those fucking bullshit scenarios aren't that true.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I see that there's a possibility. So, I mean, I've been into prepping and preparing, you know, for a less than lovely life for, you know, since probably 2012. I've kind of been into that thing, but not hardcore. Like, I haven't really committed that much to it. It's just shit that I enjoy thinking about and maybe every now and then doing, you know, grabbing some shit here and there. But in the last 6 months, I guess I could see the way that shit was doing. So my shit has changed a little bit. So I have changed my preps. I got, you know, a little bit of supply of food that'll last a long fucking time, you know, bullets, ammo, blah, blah, blah. But you guys hasn't changed really in the last few months, in the last week, really mainly at all. You guys aren't concerned?
Not really, no.
No. I picked up a few things, but not anything that I feel like it was nothing that I was like, I absolutely have to have this now, or my family will perish. You know what I mean?
No, but I know you've ordered some shit.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was,
and if you don't want to say it publicly, that's fine. But
that was stuff that I was like, I had planned on
doing anyway, so
on ordering it anyway, and then I was like, well, I guess now's the time to do it. And you know, it just kind of, it made it a little more urgent for me. You know what I mean? Not so much urgent, but like, now's the time to do it type of thing. And I don't plan on ever using the things that, you know,
right.
I've ordered, but it's, and I guess, I mean, I am concerned because I did like go through all of my ammo, right? I went through and I have an inventory on my phone right now. I have a running inventory of all the ammo that I have for every caliber, every, you know, bullet type of every caliber. I have
so you're kind of concerned, obviously.
I just made sure that I knew where I was in terms of preparedness. I want to know where I stand, right? Like,
but you guys aren't concerned, like, I mean, we lost 2 of the 3. And if we lose that third, then there's no doubt in my mind, if we lose that third, that shit is going to get real Western as far as, you know, our rights. That you guys aren't that concerned about that.
No, I'm personally not, because I think things will change in the next month.
Why are you both looking at me?
Because you haven't said anything in the last 3.5 minutes.
No, I've been blabbering a lot,
because
you usually have a different opinion than me. And
I don't have a whole lot to say.
But you're not concerned. You're comfortable with where you are currently?
I wouldn't say I'm totally comfortable, no, but I'm not overly concerned. Yeah,
Is that why you moved to the same town as me? So you're like, when shit
that's
happens, you're like,
that's why.
Hey, Sambo, I know you're all right. No, I'm going to come down to your house.
That's why.
And you know you're my brother, so I'll just be like, oh, well, f it, all right, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
No, nope, not it.
No.
Figured I'd better be close so I can protect you.
Ooh, damn.
But that's kind of my thoughts on the whole thing, is that like I said, in 16, everybody, their side thought it was ending, and now our side thinks it's ending.
Well, I think that's a back and forth constantly, and I just don't, like I said, I don't think one guy holds all the power and all that, but
it's not the one guy that I'm concerned about.
The problem with the current state is we're pushing closer to that. We're trying to make it that way, you know, and I feel like the media is trying to push it that way. Like, hey, this means everything. The presidential election and who is the president means everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we don't want to go there right now. But I saw some news anchor saying after they had projected Biden the winner that today it was easier to wake up as a father, and he just said everything is easier today. I'm like,
yeah,
literally nothing has changed for you.
Absolutely nothing.
Other than your perception.
Yeah,
nothing has changed.
Because guess what? He's still not the president. Donald Trump is still the president until minimum January 20th, right? Like that. Absolutely nothing has changed today.
But the reason for that is because all the media, the social media, everything just hammers us and tells us that if you don't get out and vote and the guy that you don't want to win wins, that it's the end of the fucking world.
Right. And
somehow that they've inundated all that into every single portion of our lives that we believe that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that it's not important, because it is.
Right.
And frankly, it sucks owning the business that I do. I mean, I'm worried, yes, but I'm not saying it's the end of the fucking world.
Right. I would like to look at the propaganda that was during the Prohibition era. That's something that I want to do some research into, is look at the propaganda that ASL did during that time frame, during the 1915 to 1920 time frame, to see what they did, because apparently from the research that I've done, it was a very big push on media to portray that the majority of people felt like anti-alcohol was the way to go, even though it was the minority of opinion.
Right. Yeah.
So I would like to see and compare the type of propaganda from the 1915 to 1922.
Sure it's very different from where we are now, just because of the way that media is delivered to us. As far as social media, like we have everything on right there in your face right now, in your phone, 24 hours a day.
And that's the biggest problem that I see, is that it's on your Facebook, on your Instagram, it reads everything that you post to Facebook. And if there is any word in your Facebook post that relates anything, it automatically comes up with
tags it,
the vote 2020, like a little thing, and like Snapchat, and every single thing is tied to voting. Oh yeah.
I guess I don't Snapchat enough, so
is tied to vote.
I only usually Snapchat
vote 2020
dirty pictures, so
right
to dudes,
to other men.
While we're talking about social media, maybe have you guys thought about getting off of Facebook?
Yes,
because there's over the last week or so, there's been a pretty large push to get everyone over to Parler.
That shit is every freaking 2 years.
Yeah, I know, but
I'm not against it.
Why not try? I signed up for it today. I downloaded the app. I haven't done.
Does it suck?
I haven't literally. All I did was sign up for it. I haven't even looked at it really. I thought I'd give it a shot, I guess. Somebody created an event on Facebook, like delete your Facebook account,
get off,
and
Facebook,
go on Parler. I don't know when that was set for, but there was quite a few people signed up.
I've seen a lot of my friends do that.
I'm all in. Like,
what do our listeners think about that? Should we be on Parler, guys? Do you guys want to switch over to Parler? Should we have a group on there?
I have hard enough time running the freaking.
Let's be honest, Sam. You don't really run anything.
Damn it, I do. It's hard, man. Like that, and that's the thing. Like that, I've learned about social media in the last couple of years is like it seems like such an easy thing.
Yeah, you get stomped on by the actual social media platform. Well, it's not, they just curb stomp you,
but it's not that so
right
much
in the nuts.
It's not
just beat you down. But guess what? That's what you live by. So you got to sit here and hang on and be like, "Sorry, sir, may I please have some more?" And they just keep kicking you in the balls.
It's not that so much that you don't like.
It's true.
5 years
ago, that's how it is.
5 years ago, I thought social media manager was the dumbest fucking job in the world. Like, how the fuck
now you feel like
how the fuck is that a job?
Now you feel like hiring one.
I could literally have a social media manager.
Yep.
Like, it's fucking insane how much time that shit takes up.
Yep.
But to answer your question,
because
Box, yes,
that has replaced a marketing manager as far as dealing with radio commercials and TV commercials and this and that.
Right. Yeah. As far as that, yeah. But Box, to answer your question, yes, I thought about it. I looked up the app today. I haven't got gone that far.
I
Because
guess,
right now I live off Facebook as far as my business, and I'm looking to get more into email and my own fucking website that people can't censor. Like, I'll do what I want to, and you can't fucking stop it.
I guess I've never heard of it.
So
honestly, I've never
it's
heard
Parler?
of it. Yeah,
There's
I've never had any like advertisement or influence to try and.
I saw today too. Sons of Liberty they got on this one called MeWe.
I've heard of MeWe.
Yeah.
Parler's been around for a couple of years.
Yeah, since like
been
16
away
or something, or
for
12 maybe.
Sons of Liberty now has gotten, they're distributing a lot more guns to Primary Arms.
Their distributor is in Montezuma, Iowa.
Yeah.
Which I thought was nice.
Yeah.
I forget what their name is.
Which is nice.
So you got that going for you, which is nice.
So, you guys got any final thoughts to add on this subject, or should we move on to
I don't even. We've really bounced around a lot, so
I'm
not even sure what subjects
we're
on right now.
I think we're on the whether we're prepared or not, and then we got over to social media, and now we're like over an hour in. So I was going to talk about SHOT being canceled, but I don't feel like we need to do that because we got plenty of shit going on. Johnson,
we do need to make a note that SHOT Show 2021 is canceled. That needs to be said, though.
That pissed me off.
Like,
I don't they should have fucking canceled it a month and a half ago.
It's going to be a big topic, I guess.
They should have. They should have fucking canceled it a month and a half ago because they knew goddamn well that they were going to cancel it.
They knew,
and they just fucking kept blowing smoke up our asses and got me all excited.
Well,
we rented a goddamn house that had a pool in it. And I was all excited, and shit was gone.
The biggest thing was they got a lot of people's deposits.
They're refunding them.
Either that or rolling
all of them.
There's some of them that they're rolling over to next year.
Attendees such as myself and Box didn't.
I don't have to pay,
but I had to pay $100. I paid $150.
Yeah,
that's going to be 100% refunded. People that bought a table, we're going to be sponsors or
vendors.
They get 50% refunded and 50% rolls over to the next year. Which they need some fucking cash. They need some cash money. I can't fucking blame them for that.
No,
it is what it is. But the only thing I can fault them for is they waited so fucking long to do it because they knew goddamn well they were going to cancel it.
You should let this be a lesson to you, Sam.
What?
You should listen to me more.
Yeah, fuck you. I knew you were going to say that.
He did say months ago, like, they're canceling that.
Well, I'm an optimist. That's why my friends call me
being a realist.
That's why my friends call me Whiskers.
That's why my friends call me Whiskers. I thought your friends called you Whiskers because you were curious like a cat.
But, on the bright side of this, since I'm not going to Vegas, I'm going to Florida for a week. So,
well, hey.
Fuck you, SHOT. I'm still going to have fun.
Yep.
You were going to Florida anyways.
Yeah, but it was only going to be like for 2 days. Now I'm going for a whole week. James is getting married.
There's probably going to be a hurricane down there.
My luck, it'll be in March.
January. That'd be impressive.
No, it's March. Is March hurricane season?
I don't think so. It's later in the year.
And this will be in the Florida Keys.
It's like tornado season. Hurricane season down there. I'm pretty sure it's like tornado season through like September, end of September, early October. I think
it'll be the earliest hurricane ever.
Yeah. You're still going to catch one.
So Jimmy's getting married and we're going down. We're just going to fly in about a week early, 4 or 5 days early and hang out on the beach in the Florida Keys. And can't wait. I need a fucking vacation. So I'm pretty stoked.
That'll be good.
Johnson, we need a WAD.
Yeah. So if you want to play a... God, he just forgets everything, doesn't he?
This is why social media is hard for him.
What a douche. So what a douche this week. There was a group of 3 people. All 3 were arrested originally, but I think only one person was charged. A ranger found a burlap sack or 2 burlap sacks with chickens in them in Yellowstone hot springs.
Park, yeah.
In their hot springs. This guy had brought multiple chickens in burlap sacks and thrown them in the hot springs to cook them while he set up his stew pot.
Time out. Did he pluck them and kill them first? Or did he just throw them in live?
I guess I don't know for sure. All I know is that there was 2 chickens pulled from a burlap sack in a Yellowstone hot spring, and there was this guy preparing a campsite and preparing dinner for these chickens after cooking them in the hot spring. Like, this was like
that's a pretty good idea, actually.
This was like a public hot spring where like people swim and
how hot does he think these springs are?
You got to get chicken to what, 140, 150?
I think somewhere in there, like 155, 160
the hot springs
degrees.
get anywhere close to that?
They probably get 100 degrees, I'll bet. The absolute hottest.
You know, like hot tub is like maybe 106 degrees. That's
hot
real hot.
Hot tub,
that's like real hot.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine they were that hot.
98 degrees.
That's a hot ass. So that's like a natural hot tub. How badass would that be? You know, you talked about having chickens in burlap sacks, and I automatically just assumed you and your wife were involved.
Wow,
I was going to say.
We like our chickens. We would never put them in burlap sacks.
Thought maybe Chabray found some on the side of the road or something and took them home.
No, this guy just... That's terrible. If you knew Chabray at all, you knew for sure that they were just going to be, she was going to be holding them.
Cuddling
them. So, there's no way they'd be put in a burlap sack.
Well, no, she found them on the side of the road in the burlap sack.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then took them home.
Or
rescue chickens.
Or you
Rescue
were like,
chickens,
or you're like, damn it, Chabray, I don't want these chickens in my car, and makes her put them in a burlap sack.
I'd have told, I'd have told her, yeah, we can get them. And when she got out to pick them up, I'd have taken off.
Wring their necks. All right, they can get in the fucking truck now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one. Where's the other? I need an idea for dinner tonight. That sounds great.
I'm going to go ahead and assume there was drugs involved in this.
I think so, because they interviewed the 3 people that were involved with this, who were kind of in the same group to camp. And excuse me. And they kind of asked them, like, hey, whose idea was this to, like, cook these chickens in the hot springs? And they were all kind of like, well, it was kind of like a joint effort, you know, like
joint, literally.
Right. Yeah.
Was there a picture of this guy?
There wasn't.
Damn it.
I was really hoping there was. I searched quite a bit to try and find a picture of this guy.
I'm just imagining.
I definitely had a mental picture of this
quintessential
guy.
hippie.
It was it was that video. It was the same guy from the video that he was trying to describe 2020. So there was like these dudes, like they were doing some bad things. And then like these other guys, they said they were doing some bad things. Did you guys ever see that video?
I haven't seen that.
It's fucking legendary. This guy's just stoned out of his mind, and he's like trying to describe 2020, and he's like, and these guys told these other guys, stop doing those bad things, man. But they just kept doing them. And
that was a pretty good one.
That guy from that 70s show, the records, who was,
the guy who owned the record store.
Was that
Yeah.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
He hasn't died yet this year, has he? The way this year's gone, he's gonna fucking.
I love my favorite thing from that whole Tommy Chong, right?
Yeah.
And my favorite thing from his whole time in that 70s show was when he had like the dog food in a brown paper sack, and he was like supposed to go take this. He was watching somebody's dog or something, or his dog, and he was like, I remember he was supposed to be taking dog food home, and then he had weed in another paper sack,
fed the
right?
dog the wrong thing.
Yeah, and they were like, he's like, oh, so where's the stuff, man? And he's like, hands him the bag, and they're like, this is dog food, and he's like, oh man, I need to get home to see my dog. Just like, oh yeah.
I wasn't really listening to that, so I may have missed if you mentioned that. But it
Tommy Chong?
Tommy Chong, yeah. He's 82 now. He looks pretty good for 82.
As much weed as he's done.
That's what weed does to a person.
He smoked like fucking 2 pounds a day, probably for the last 40 years.
Yeah,
man.
that's what weed does to a person. It keeps you young.
Oh fuck! Apparently.
Yeah.
Well, boys and girls, I believe that is the end of the episode. It's been a damn good episode.
Before we get way too into talking about,
like
weed
and stuff.
how good
man.
weed is for you, man.
You guys got any acid?
I
man?
do think it keeps you young, but hey,
well,
that's my opinion.
No, I guess I don't know.
Life short, live free is not associated with that opinion.
Hey, maybe instead of whiskey of the week, we should try a different hard drug every week.
That's what I said. Let's go to
Acid?
Oregon. Let's go to Oregon. We'll do meth one week, coke the next.
Drug of the week.
Yeah, perfect.
We'd
have great episodes.
Life short, live free. Drug of the week. It'd just be us over here. Ah! Just fucking screaming. Wow, Sam, this episode really sucks.
I tried heroin this week.
Right?
Johnson, you're drooling on your microphone.
It would probably go viral. I mean,
Johnson, the microphone is not cake.
God, the stupid shit we could come up with.
It has been a fun one, guys. Make sure you check out Ballistic Imagery for all your photography and videography needs, as well as Shyworks for all your Cerakote and gun painting needs. We'll be back on. Make sure you check us out on our Facebook, Life Short Live Free Facebook, every other Wednesday night at 8:30 for the live Gears and Beers. We talk about different gear and freedom associated shit. And have some alcoholic beverages with y'all.
Yep.
As well as...
check us out on YouTube. Obviously youtube.com/life short live free. And then Full 30 and Gunstreamer. If you're not into...
did you get the last video
I did. Full 30 has undergone an entire overhaul. They went through a big software overhaul. So if things are a little weird on Full 30, just bear with them. They do have some warnings up on their site. Things are a little strange. Features are missing. There are some bugs.
That been going on for...
Does their search bar work?
Their search bar does finally work. If you ask for the latest videos, you don't get the latest videos. If you ask for the top videos, you don't get the top videos. There's a lot of...
So it's basically just a shit show.
Yeah, there's a lot of bugs and missing features. But if you do search for Life Short Live Free on Full 30, you will find our channel. So there is that. But Life Short Live Free on Full 30 and Gunstreamer. We've got those things going strong. So if you're not into the YouTube thing and don't agree with Google, those are two other places to find all of our videos, including our Gears and Beers podcast and all of our other videos. So
Yep. So we got content coming out every week for you. And we'll be back with this podcast in 2 weeks. Make sure you check us out. And until we talk to them, remember, life short, live free, God bless, and God bless the United States of America.
Repeal the NFA.
Fund the ATF.